Let's go to Ryan in Indiana. Welcome.
Hi, Ryan. Hello?
Hey.
Hey, why? Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
What's going on?
I just want to have the discussion on why don't y'all believe
We
in
don't.
God, and why do you feel like...
We don't believe in God because we don't think there's sufficient evidence to warrant that belief.
I used to believe in a God, and then I started kind of getting shaky on my faith and just kind of wondering if there was anything out there, because it didn't seem like the God that I was born into didn't feel right. And so I started wanting to investigate and trying to find out if there was a different God that maybe I believed in, if it felt more right, because that's kind of how I just made decisions in the past. And then I decided to investigate for real, and I looked up online and I looked up videos, and I wanted to hear the atheist perspective and then theist perspective as non-biased as possible. So I looked up atheist versus theist debates, and it took me a couple days of hours of listening, because each debate's about 2 to 3 hours long. But I wanted to hear multiple perspectives. I wanted to hear every side of the story that I could find, and I just found that I was significantly more on the atheist side than on the theist side, and it shocked me. So that's why I don't believe anymore.
Yeah, Jenna is a relatively new atheist.
Mm-hmm. I've only been an atheist for a year and a month now.
Wow.
So which God do you believe in? There's tens of thousands of them, right?
Yeah, I believe in Jesus Christ. I know there's many gods, but I believe in the alphas, like Jesus Christ and the Father in heaven, Jesus Father, who's the alpha of all gods.
So the God of the Bible, huh?
Yeah, the God of the Bible.
Yeah, he's kind of a prick, isn't he?
The Holy Trinity. A prick? What does a prick mean?
He's a jerk. He kills people, and he's a thug.
Well, not a thug. He's a policeman.
Oh,
he's
a policeman. Oh,
that's
okay.
interesting.
Yeah, it's justified.
Oh, it's justified.
What makes you think he's a policeman?
I know he's a policeman. He's my father. I'll have a personal relationship with him. And
Wait.
Just like a policeman on the street kills a criminal, he kills criminals.
Wait a second. So because he kills criminals, that makes him a policeman?
He's saving souls, yeah.
So if I go out and start killing criminals, does that make me a policeman? Or God?
Only if you went to school for it and you justified someone you was protecting the soul.
How do you know God went to school for it?
We don't even believe he exists. Can we start there, maybe? What evidence do you have that there is such a God?
Well, the Bible is total evidence. I can expound on it.
Yeah, well, the Bible's...
To get you started.
We don't believe the Bible.
Yeah, I don't either.
You don't believe the Bible?
No,
Well, I can tell you this. This is what it says in the Bible. The pure hardship of...
Oh, we know what's in it.
We're actually pretty familiar with the Bible, but that's why we don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
That's actually a path to atheism. Did you know that a lot of atheists, when they read the Bible critically and think about it, they figure out this is a story.
Well, how do you feel though? You must be miserable.
Oh no, not at all.
Wait, why do you think that we must be miserable?
Because God brings happiness,
I don't have...
Without him, you're miserable.
Christianity has the highest kill rate of any religion. I think we'd be a lot better off without it.
Well, but hold on. Why do you think... Do you think that you really think that I'm miserable?
I think everyone's miserable without God.
Why do you think I'm miserable?
Because are you happy?
Yeah.
We don't think we're miserable.
I'm awesome. Yeah.
We're happy, well-adjusted folks here.
What makes you think I'm miserable?
Not real happy?
I'm serious. I want to know. Right? What makes you think I'm miserable?
Because I know that God brings happiness, and without God, it's hard to actually do the right thing to make yourself happy.
But I do the right thing all the time, and I'm happy.
What is the right thing to you?
Well, the right thing is what makes the world a better place.
And what's that?
Well, let's start with I don't own any slaves, and God got that wrong.
But that's the thing is
I don't molest children. The Catholic Church got that wrong.
We get to talk about it. We get to discuss and decide what's right and what's wrong.
So we're doing better, right? We're doing better than God and the Catholic Church already.
No, he's not doing better than God. He's doing better than the Catholic Church. God is perfect.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
So not only do you not have evidence for him, he's perfect, huh?
I have evidence. You just really
Let's hear it, man. Bring it on.
All right. The evidence is that Jesus, his son, died on a cross so that we could be cleansed.
And you learned this from the Bible, which we don't believe.
Right.
Did you know that resurrecting gods are very common, especially among all the cultures that gathered in Rome around the time of Jesus? Did you know that, I don't know, Mithras was another resurrecting god that existed before Jesus?
Yeah, I know.
And did you know that he resurrected every year? And isn't that better than doing it once?
You say he resurrected every year?
Yeah. That's how we get our seasons.
Oh, okay. Look, listen, like, if you believe, like, if you really believe, like, if you just took the leap of faith, like she said she had faith.
So faith, in my opinion, is just a good way to be wrong.
I had faith.
You had faith in Jesus and God?
Oh yeah, and actually I have this very distinct memory of a girlfriend of mine looking me in the face. We were drunk one night just talking about God because she didn't believe and I did. And I remember her looking at me just fascinated, and she was like, I'm just amazed by your faith. And I was just like, Yep, I got it. I got faith.
But then you lost it.
And then I lost it.
Well, why don't you get it back? Do you not believe in him?
Well, because once
you
can you start believing in Santa again?
Santa, I've never seen Santa.
Right.
So
I've seen God. I've never seen Santa.
When did you see God?
Oh, awesome. You've seen God. Can we see God?
I see God's I'm his son. He communes when he protects me day by day. I'm a chosen one. I'm a chosen vessel. I'm a prophet.
You're a chosen prophet?
Did you know that prophet used to mean storyteller?
Wait.
Nothing more?
And that's what I'm doing, telling the story.
Okay.
The Holy Spirit.
Okay.
Yeah, we've heard this sort of stuff before.
Right.
I'm still waiting on this evidence, though, because the
evidence is something you don't believe.
I still want to know what school he went to.
What school I went to?
No, God. I want to know what police academy he went to.
Right.
Oh, you want to be joking?
Well, I'm joking, but only slightly, because I'm trying to point out how ridiculous this is. Do you not notice that it's actually comical? It's actually funny.
Yeah, you're piling more and more claims on this thing
like, do you hear yourself?
Yeah, I hear myself very clear.
Okay. All right. Well.
Well, anything else for us?
I just like you took the leap of faith, like she said, and never give up.
So I tried.
So the 9/11 attackers that flew the planes into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, they had faith. Mm-hmm. Was their faith a good thing?
Is their faith a good thing? So there's so many different religions. I'm talking about the Holy Bible. That was Iraq, like Muslims.
They believe in the God of Abraham, just like you do.
But you have to understand it's a war.
And they had faith. So what could possibly be wrong with that?
False prophets, liars.
Oh, liars.
Deceivers.
So you got the right gospel with the New Testament, and you're pitching the Old Testament. You got the new one, and nothing afterwards is good. So it's version 2 that's the right one. Is that right? Version 1 being Judaism, version 2 being Christianity, and then there's a whole bunch of others after that.
The Muslims.
Right.
It's just so much false deception.
So, let me make a prediction. I can be a prophet. Let me make a prediction. I'll bet that you grew up as in a Christian household and that you were indoctrinated as a kid. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that predicts. That's the most predictive thing for the most predictive way of telling what religion you're going to be is what religion you were raised with. Not because it's true, but because you were indoctrinated that way.
Which religion are you?
Right. Christianity.
Just regular Christian, not like a specific denomination?
Yeah, Mormonism.
You're a Mormon?
Okay. So you're off in a branch of a branch of a branch, right?
Yeah. Why do you think that Mormonism is the right one and not a different one?
Well, the Holy Spirit testifies of the Mormon words, like the Testament. And
How do you?
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
How do I say that again?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was letting you go.
Well, the Holy Spirit, which is a father and a brother of God and Jesus Christ, testifies of every word in the Book of Mormon. But you have to give word to God and not steal the victory. And then to get that testimony, you have to be real humble.
Let me tell you a little story about Joseph Smith. Before he started his religion, he used to have a little kind of a scam where he would find farmers and he would look into his hat and pretend it was like a periscope and that he could see into the ground, and he'd tell the farmers where to dig for gold. He'd take a little fee from them, and he'd be off into the wind at that point. And eventually that caught up with him. So he's kind of a scammer, well-known fraud. And it seems like the hat and the gold thing it kind of stuck with him as far as this gold plate thing. And
well, that's just something you heard. It's not. That's true.
Wait.
I think you just heard about your Mormon faith.
Yeah.
That's two things. But I know for sure that the father of the faith has spoken to him.
So let's
Wait.
pretend
the father
for a second
has spoken to him?
Let's pretend for a second that I'm right. What does that tell you about Joseph Smith?
I mean, let's pretend that you're not right. Like you're not sure about that. Like, you can't say we're right. I'm telling you.
I think with a little bit of research, you could verify that.
Well, yeah, research, but that's not power. That's just another sinful man or immoral man to lying or to be deceiving, just to keep people faith, bring them off their faith.
So you just want to believe no matter what, huh?
I mean, I believe, but I also know it's not. It's powerless just to believe, but to have the knowledge is what makes it more powerful.
Do you think that you would be miserable if you didn't believe anymore?
Oh yeah, I'd be in hell because I know too much.
Well, I know your fellow Mormons would do their best to make you miserable if you left the faith. So they're pretty good at that.
Well, I can understand if he's scared, then that might be a good reason to hold on to something.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm not trying to mock you either. I'm trying to learn here, because do you realize that might. Is that true? Is that why you believe? Because you're afraid of being miserable?
Yes, I am afraid of being miserable. I'm really happy with them.
So,
my presence.
Yeah, I'm sorry?
I'm real happy with the gospel and the ways of it and the things you can attain, the wealth of glory, the riches, and just the good things.
So you could be a drunkard and be happy, right?
Huh?
You could be drunk and be happy, right?
No. It's a shame if you're drunk. You'll never gain happiness if you're drunk. You'll be miserable.
But what if you could be happy and not believe? Because I'm an example of that, and I think you're pretty happy too.
I'm a
so
happy guy.
we're two examples. Hold on, real quick. We're two examples of people that are really, really happy without any gods. Right. So why don't you believe that you can be?
Because I actually know too much. You're more innocent than I am. I'm saying that the greater light is, the higher the condemnation. The less of the light, the less the condemnation. So when you don't believe, you get less condemnation. If I don't believe, then I'll get a lot of condemnation because I actually see God.
You've seen God?
Yeah, I see God.
Where do you see God?
He speaks to me like his spirit.
What does he say?
Business. He always
He agrees with you, right?
Well, I want to know what he says.
You want to know what he says?
Mm-hmm.
He says everything that's in the Bible.
He just reads the Bible to you?
No, he speaks the word. He speaks his word to me.
I want to know specifically. I want to know word for word what you hear audibly.
The last thing, he didn't actually speak, but the last thing he thought to me. The last thing he thought to me was to be aware.
So he's in your mind.
Prophets. Yeah, he's in my head. He thinks to me.
Well, so
We think to one another.
there really are people that hear things that aren't there, and well, they might have a mental disorder.
Yeah, but I actually hear his voice too.
I'm sorry?
When he actually speaks to other people in my presence, and the people are so.
Does he say the exact same thing?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand you.
No, he's just like us. He says different things, like how we're saying different things all the time. It's just a conversation. You know what I mean? He's saying different things. There's a lot to talk about in life.
Have you ever tested that and made sure that he was saying the exact same thing to everybody?
What do you mean saying the exact same thing to everybody?
Well, if you and a bunch of your friends can hear God at the same time, presumably he's talking, and whatever, you know, if everybody took dictation, they should all get the same answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you've tested that?
Have you
You've
tested
done that?
What do you mean by test?
Test. That means you actually do an experiment where you get folks together, and when that happens, you all write down your answers and you compare them.
No, it's not. It's not enough peace for that, you know, because most people is wanting to test out all the time. I'm a chosen vessel. What it is,
Well, so
You're chosen.
a really good way to find out if something isn't actually what you think it is to try everything possible that could possibly disprove it. Right? That's a good way to find out what's real. Is if you can't.
I'm pretty sure this is the voice of God down here. I'm not.
Well, we're pretty convinced. We're sure that you've convinced yourself, but you know, if it's really true, then you have nothing to fear from a test like this.
Right, but the thing is, I can't do that because people won't cooperate. People are evil.
Well, then maybe you don't have a reason to believe that.
I do have a reason to believe because my heart is well. My heart is good. My heart is happy.
So
Right,
hear
but what if my
voices.
heart's good too?
So why should we believe?
Then you're blessed.
We agree that you might have voices in your head, but why should Jenna and I believe?
Yeah. If I don't hear anything and I don't see anything.
Hell exists.
I'm sorry?
Not just because hell exists. That's why I think you should believe, because hell exists. And if you
Intelligence.
Huh?
So if I think more, I'll believe.
Well, we're born with a level of intelligence and we're kind of stuck with it. So I don't know what that has to do with a God.
You're born with a level of intelligence and kind of stuck with it. Yeah, there's two different intelligences. It's a moral intelligence and it's a moral intelligence.
What's a moral intelligence?
The moral intelligence is the humanical intelligence.
Like a moral compass? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I know it's not good to hold slaves, and I know it's good not to molest children. So I'm already doing better than the God and the Catholic Church, right?
No, you're not doing better, no.
Yeah, I am.
You don't think that he killed a bunch of people with the Great Flood and all kinds of... Like,
Yeah, he's a murderer.
You don't think he killed people?
Yes, yes.
I'm not a murderer. He's evil.
Oh, right. Wait. We're back in... We just went in a circle. He's a policeman.
He's a policeman. Oh, he gets to murder everybody he wants.
Right.
Because he's a policeman.
I don't think we're getting anywhere.
Yeah. All right, now look. If it was a monster of your bed and you want to be saved...
I don't want to be saved because I'm pretty safe right here.
Who are we being saved from? Answer me that.
The monster under your bed. If there's a monster under your bed, or a kidnapper, or a rapist coming in your house, when you want somebody to shoot right before the rapist rapes you?
No, I'm pretty safe.
I don't want to be saved from God.
I mean, I take certain precautions to keep myself safe. You know, I look both ways before I cross the street, and I use my blinker, stuff like that. I don't need a God for that.
You need a God, yeah. You're going to see that you need a God one day.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we appreciate your call. We're gonna let you go.
All right.
Thanks for
give us a call
calling.
again. And
Thanks for trying.
thanks. Yeah. Bye.
All right.